Hey, this is Alan with GameLark Remixes, and I'm joined by Jack from ToxicxEternity.
What's up, everybody? Dude, thanks so much for having me, man.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. Love your stuff. So, got a question for you. First question. What is metal?
Metal is love. Metal is life.
I'm just kidding.
Metal is my favorite genre of music. And that's saying a lot because I love a lot of music. But metal is my favorite genre because it's exciting and powerful, and it's challenging to play. It's like a really hard video game.
Yeah,
so it's like if music were video games, then metal would be like the Metroid series, basically.
Yeah, that's a really good description, though, of metal. I mean, so but
it's funny because when we get interviewed for live shows and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like we've been told once that watching us on stage is like the equivalent of watching someone like speedrun a video game. And I was like, that is the greatest compliment I've ever received in my life.
Well, that's two things, right? One, that I wanted to point out that you're in a band, Singularity, correct? And two,
Yep.
I watched your Q&A video, and I know that you're also into speedruns. So
Dude.
Take one of those two things, talk about it a little bit, speedrunning or Singularity.
Yeah, so I mean, I can talk about Singularity real quick. Singularity is my band, and we write original music, and we play some shows. We actually just got back from a tour, and it's our second tour that we've done. And yeah, it's just, living the dream, man. Just trying to have a band and play music and make people beat each other up in the mosh pit. It's all good stuff.
How long have you been in Singularity?
Singularity, I'm a founding member of the band, and we started in 2010, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a decent amount of time.
Yeah, it's weird. It doesn't feel like it's that long. Like when I think about, me being in a band, Singularity to me still feels like it's like a baby,
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because like we put out an album and stuff. It's like we should be like, oh, we're a very seasoned and professional band. It's like, no, we kind of look at each other and we're like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, that's good because it's still fun. It's still new, still fresh.
Yeah. And I wonder if that'll ever go away, honestly. It's like, we're just like, we still feel like we're trying to figure it out,
Have you guys done the East Coast tour yet?
No, we really want to.
You should.
I know, dude.
If you do, let me know for sure.
Dude, I will, man. Yeah, man. I would love to hit the East Coast because, like, so much of the VGM community and just a lot of people that I've befriended, throughout YouTube and stuff, they're on the East Coast, and so I would love to be able to go out there and share it with all my friends, like, my band and stuff, and introduce everybody, and I think it'd be super cool. And I also love the East Coast because that's actually where I'm from.
Oh, okay.
So. Yeah. So hopefully soon, the thing is that it costs a lot of money to go out there because it's like $1 zillion for gas, and stuff. Even driving, we played a show in Texas and it was still like hundreds of dollars. So it's like, in order to hit the East Coast, we would really have to have the financial stuff covered. But, probably pretty soon, well, hopefully.
Awesome. And do you guys do any video game covers in the band right now? Would you add one? Would you add one for whatever venue you're playing at when I see you?
Dude, it's so funny because like this is gonna ruin the reputation of my band so hard. But like when in between songs and stuff, like my keyboardist will just start busting out like some Aladdin songs or something like that. Like he'll play like I can show you, like
Yeah.
and then like we'll all just start coming in and start playing like metal cover of like Aladdin. And like, just like, so I mean, it's there, the ability to do covers is there. So it's like, it's definitely a possibility. And actually, my band is like super down with my video game covers, mm-hmm. and they, we're gonna try and make something happen one day where we can actually do like a full band video game cover.
That'd be sweet. That's good cross promotion too.
Dude, yeah, it's good cross promotion, and then also it'd be sick to like maybe one day like play like a show like MagFest or something.
Yeah,
where it's like my band, but we're just playing video game covers, and like, I mean, the sky's the limit,
There's an idea for sure.
but we all want to do it, It's like we're just like super pumped about it, and once we get some time, you know, that's the trick, honestly, is just getting the time to do it. But like once we sit down and really figure it out, I know we're gonna come up with some cool stuff.
Awesome. What about speedrunning? Real quick, what do you think about, like, you're into the community? Do you do any speedrunning yourself?
I used to.
Okay.
I used to. Thunder Scott is gonna like grill me so hard for this, because that's actually how I met Thunder Scott.
Okay.
Shout outs to Thunder Scott, by the way. He's a VGM musician. He's really, really talented. But he used to watch me speedrun on Twitch, and I speedrunned a game called Mystical Ninja.
Okay.
That game is like my childhood. So I was like, man, I love speedrunning. This is so cool and fun to watch, and I want to do it.
Yeah.
So I started speedrunning that game, but I just kind of like, it's just so hard to find the time, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, speedrunning is just like music. It's like, you have to pour yourself into it, because if you fall behind, like, you know, you're just going to get taken out. Because it's like, you know, people are spending 10 hours a day trying to perfect it and like, you know, learn new tricks and stuff. And like, I stepped away from the game for a week, and I came back, and, you know, people in the community for Mystical Ninja were like, oh, there's all these new tricks and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like super overwhelming. So I guess that's kind of why I stopped. I mean, I still love playing the game, but
yeah.
I feel like I should spend that time and put it towards music, which is like my true passion. But as far as watching speedruns though, I love it. Like, I love watching like SGDQ, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I was like glued to the TV, man. Like I was watching like Super Mario 64 race and Super Metroid and like Pokemon and stuff. I was like, oh,
awesome,
sick.
So speaking of music, I wanted to talk a little bit about metal. I'm a metal fan myself, as evidenced by the Behemoth shirt. I'm gonna throw some bands at you that I like, and then you throw some bands at me that you like. For me, I got into metal through Slipknot, which it was a gateway band, but I'm more into extreme metal, like Cattle Decapitation, Behemoth, Napalm Death.
Yes.
Black metal, as far as like, I don't know. I mean, some of the old stuff is good, but I really like Deathspell Omega. Just, I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're probably the most hard to listen black metal band I've ever heard. Like, it took me a couple years to get into their music, but I'm with you. I love the metal scene. I kind of got into it right when I was in high school, and it was just I was so passionate about it. I was in a metal band for a little while as a screamer, but that did, you know, not anymore.
I'm sick, dude.
What about you? So like, when did your love for metal start? What were some of your first bands?
Man, I've loved metal for so long. Like the first metal band that I really liked was Metallica. I mean, I remember actually hearing the first Metallica song that I heard was "Sad But True."
Mm-hmm.
Sad but true. And I was just like, yep, I don't know what this is. Like, I was 10 years old. I'm like, I don't know what this is, but this is like the greatest thing ever right now. And I went home, and my dad actually had a copy of the Black Album, so he showed that to me, and I was like, this is the greatest music.
Yeah.
And you know, so yeah, it just grew from there, really. I mean, as of right now, I've been listening to metal for like probably like 15 years, and I love every obscure, silly subgenre of it, and you know, I love it. You know, I love all the music, and I love making it, listening to it, you know, all that stuff.
So you like Sumerian black and death metal? You ever heard of Melikesh?
Melikesh, yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
That's one of those really specific genre labels that they actually gave themselves. So
yeah,
that's
dude,
metal. If you're not metal unless you have some kind of ridiculous label to give yourself.
God, no, I know. That's like when I'm trying to describe Singularity to people, I feel like such just like a tool, because I'm like, you know, because I want people to be stoked about it when I tell them, right? Because like I don't want people to be like, I don't want to just be like, I'm in a metal band.
Yeah.
You know, okay, cool. Like take a number, you know. But like, I mean, so I try and add all these like things, but I feel silly doing it. But I'm just like, you know, we're progressive, symphonic, technical, blackened. Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine.
Progressive, technical, blackened death metal. You know, it's just, and it's like we are, right? But it's like you feel silly. You're like, oh my gosh, I really just I really just was that guy.
I mean, at least your band logo is somewhat readable, although that's kind of against you in the metal scene, especially the black metal scene. If you can read the band logo, you're not really in a black metal band. That's one of my favorite things.
I know we tried to find that perfect medium between like it still looks brutal,
it's legible
like,
but brutal.
somewhat legible, yeah. Because like that's kind of annoying, dude. When you're like, oh, this band is sick. What's their logo? And then it's like a pile of sticks. And like what?
Or spiderweb. Spiderweb piles of sticks are just blood. There's drips of blood everywhere. No, that's great.
Crazy.
So moving on, I was looking at some of your I guess repertoire or whatever, your catalog on YouTube. And your first song was a Banjo-Kazooie cover from way back 8 years ago. And it looks like you kind of like were putting out covers sporadically and then ramped up over time. You know what I mean? Like it was like 8 years ago, 6 years ago, 5 years ago. And then recently you've been putting out a lot of like more consistent videos. Did you just do it on a whim at first? It was a haunted, what was it? Was it Haunted
Mad Monster Mansion?
Mad Monster Mansion, that's it.
Yeah.
Which, that's a great cover, by the way. And I love, dude, I just want to take a second to say, I love old school VGM songs because it always, like, this is before all the flashy, like, videos. So it would just be, like, a static picture, some really kind of bad font. And then people are, like, all the comments are from, like, 8 years ago, like, metal VGM remixes? I've never even heard of this. So it's great because, like, nowadays, you know, it's so flashy. It's like more the old school stuff.
Yeah, dude, it's definitely, dude, the quality of VGM covers these days have just been like insane, dude. And I've just been trying to keep up. It's been, people are putting out stuff. I'm just like, oh my God, this is like so next level. But yeah, like back then, back in the day, yeah, dude, I mean, I was 16 years old when I put out that cover, and I was just a kid, you know, and like I had no idea what I was doing. I basically just loved the Banjo-Kazooie soundtrack, and my friend Nathan used to do these covers with me, like way back in the day. He did Mad Monster Mansion with me, and then he did the Banjo-Kazooie theme song with me. So really, like, the story behind it was, like, we just, like, ditched school one day because we're just, like, we weren't feeling it that day. And we came to my house, and we're just, like, I don't even know, like, I wish I, like, had, like, a camera just seeing this whole conversation that, like, led up to it. But we were just, like, I'm bored. Let's, like, record a video game song on guitar or something. So it was almost, like, magical, really, because it was just, like, how did we even think of that, you know? But we were just like sitting there and recording it, and we were like, oh my God, this is so sick. And then I just put it on YouTube, and I had no expectations whatsoever. It was really just like something, you know, I did with my friend for fun, you know, and we just put it up, and you know, it's like you were saying, it was so lo-fi. Like, I mean, literally, I made the picture on MS Paint.
Oh man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I recorded it on Adobe. What's that Adobe program that's like just terrible? It's like an Adobe DAW. I forgot what it's called, but it was so bad. Like, I mean, it was alright, but it was like not. Everything about the whole process was just so raw, and like we just so like
cold.
Naive. Yeah, it was literally like Norwegian black metal with video game covers.
Awesome. So, yeah. I mean, was there a point though that it seemed like you were putting out a couple covers a year, maybe like, I don't know, 5 to 10. Was there a point where you're like, I want to start doing this more often? Was that recent, like a couple years ago?
Dude,
just curious, like, when do you decide? Yeah. Did it just happen gradually, or did you like make a conscious decision? I want to start putting out more covers, you know, more consistent.
I think I really just was inspired by the community, you know,
right.
Because the community, like. Because back in the day, it sounds like such an old man right now. No, but like, you know, back then there wasn't a community. You know, it was like me, and then I met Jules like about a year into it. There's like an old school crew like me, Jules, Casper, CS Guitar 89 as he's known, Artificial Fear, Jam 1995, and then we were all doing this, but like Jules was going hard from the start. Like he was doing weekly covers all the time, but like the rest of us were kind of like just doing it for fun, you know, and there wasn't really a huge fan base and community for it at the time. But just over the years, like, you know, people like, you know, Ro and stuff, like, you know, started coming in the picture, and just like, you know, and this whole community was like blossoming. And then Jules had that contest where, like, you know, which basically just like was like the zombie apocalypse for like video game covers. People were just coming out of the ground like, I make covers, you know, just like there's so many people just like emerging, and it was like so just beautiful and it's cool. And I was and people were just making stuff that was so good, and I was kind of looking at myself being like, dude, if I'm gonna like hang with these guys, like I've got to make some really higher quality stuff, and I need to shoot video, and I need to just like, you know, be as consistent as them, you know, because these guys are uploading covers like, you know, once every 2 weeks or once a week, you know. Mainly Jules was like, you know, he's a powerhouse with all that stuff, and I was just I guess that's when I started doing it more consistently. So I was like, you know, I want to hang with the community, you know, and I want to be a part of this because this is the coolest thing ever. So,
well, a couple of things. One, I think that using a metal comparison, I think he really is like the Metallica of the video game world, in the sense that he's like the gateway VGM artist. So many people I've talked to have been like, well, I saw a Family Jewels song and I'm like, oh, this is cool, I'm gonna start doing this. So I mean, when was that the challenge you were talking about? Because I think I remember a couple of people talking about that. Was that a couple of years ago?
It was a while ago.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna guess like it was in 2011 or 2012.
Okay. Yeah, and I've talked with a couple other people who have been in the community longer, and it does seem like it's been just the past like maybe 4 or 5 years where it's really, really grown, and now you have such a diversity in the sound, like what the instruments that people are using. You have people, I don't know. So it's
and you have people that have like 100 subscribers that are like better than all of us who have been doing it for years, you know, and you're just like, oh my god, like this is insane, you know. That's
a good kind of competition though. It like kind of pushes you a little bit, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, by no means is I mean, that's just another thing that's great about the community, is that none of us are actually competitive, you know. We're never like, oh well, I could do better than that. Of course not. But it's really just like there's a bar, you know, and everybody is like on this bar, and like there's occasionally some people that come out that they just like you know, just set it a little bit higher, and then all the rest of us are like, oh shit, we got to raise this bar too, you know. And like, so that's kind of just like that's just what makes it exciting, you know, because like everybody is like just trying to step it up, you know, no matter how big we are, you know. Because like, you know, even the people that are super popular and have been doing it forever, they're still seeing these new guys that are just completely kicking our ass, you know, with like production quality and stuff. And like, and we're kind of going like, okay, we gotta step it up too, you know. Yeah.
Who raises your bar specifically? Can you say anybody that you look to as somebody that like inspires you, or?
I gotta say Richard, man, Richard. Because dude, like, I was like, because I've always been like pretty like, you know, I'm like the shredder of the community, right? And then he comes and he's just like, hey, guess what? I could play faster than you. And I'm just like, oh shit.
So is there a little jealousy there, or no?
It's not jealousy, like, you know, because guitar.
I know. I'm just making fun of you.
No, yeah, like guitar is like, you know, it's an art and stuff, you know. So it's like, it's not about that, but it definitely kind of like made me just go like, okay, like, you know what I mean? Like, let's shred it up, you know? And I know he's going to be watching this being like, oh, wow, like, fuck you, Jack, you know? But, yeah, no, like, I mean, he definitely inspired me to just step up my guitar playing, you know, as a whole. It wasn't even the fact that his covers were amazingly arranged, but it's just that, like, you know, his playing was just like so tight, you know? And he kind of showed me that, or kind of like explained to me that like video game covers are like as good as like, you know, like real, like, you know, composed like and professionally made music, you know. It's not just that it's on YouTube and like, you know, it's like an after school project or whatever. It's like these are like professionally made pieces of music done by real talented musicians and stuff. And it's just like, you know, and Richard's of course not the only one who's displaying that. But I guess like when I saw his stuff, that's when it really hit me that I was like, wow, this is like so next level. and then like some other people, like Sir Blamble of Gam, like when I discovered him, dude, I was like, oh my god, like this is so sick, you know, because I mean, it's hard to really describe like what about his stuff kind of like makes me love it so much. It's really just that it's so well produced, I guess it would be. Like, you know, because he doesn't even really shred that much. Because, you know, I mean, he's told me he's not a shredder, you know, but his arrangements are just like so like next level, and it's like very progressive-y, you know.
Yeah.
You can listen to his entire cover and just be like not relatively bored, you know. You're captivated the whole time. So that's something that, you know, inspired me to try and do that as well. And awesome. I mean, I could go on for hours about this. There's like the community, like, you know, this is amazing. Like Swiggles 1987, like, you know, his guitar tone is like super inspiring to me, like his lead tone and stuff. It's like I take things from everybody and I just like get inspired by it, you know, and just try and push it back out there in my music, you know.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of the community, you were a part of a couple collaborative albums, Operation 1UP and Multiplayer 2, which just came out. And I wanted to ask you, well, I mean, one, just your experience with working, you know, on both of those albums. What did you get out of it? Did you learn anything? Did you just meet a lot of new people? And two, your song choice for Multiplayer 2, which was Hot Head Bop, a little bit of a different one for you. So
Operation 1UP was really cool because it was just for a super good cause, and I kind of like, I don't even really remember kind of like how it went down. I think it was either Thunderscott or Swiggles. They just like sent me a message just super casually, just like, hey, do you want to be a part of this album? And I was just like, yeah, bro, you know. So it was like super, just like nothing, like we cordially invite you to, no, it's just like, hey, you want to do an album? And it's like, yeah. And you know, I found out about what the album was about, and it was like really cool. And I was just so happy to be a part of it, you know, because like the whole charity aspect and like just using the VGM community and having it support like real life, like good causes and stuff is like, that's what it's about, dude. It's, you know, it's so cool. So yeah, Operation 1UP was cool though, because I mean, I got to like be on an album with people that I've been friends with for a while. And even though I've been doing music for a while with these guys, but this is the first time I've actually been on an album with them. So that was kind of cool. Like I was on an album with like on Operation 1UP, it was like, you know, Lil V Mills, you know, like Ferd K and stuff like that. Just like these people that I've been watching for a while. And it's just really cool to be on an album with them. Nice. And I got to work with CS Guitar 89 too. And that was the first time I worked with him, so that was kind of cool.
I wanted to ask you if you had any like wisdom to impart on people for YouTube or just maybe even like creating music in general. You said, you know, that Rishad EB helped you realize that there's not like a dividing line between cover music and real music. Like cover music is real music.
Yeah.
That's one thing, but is there anything else that you've like picked up along the way, or?
I mean, I've learned so much, you know. It's like I've definitely learned that I just need to like, I guess like a specific thing that I learned was that I need to make my videos look really good because you know, the fan bases react like to they like to see a cool video too, you know? So even though like I feel like the thing is the music for me. Like I'm always about the music. But you know, having a video, like a kick-ass video of you shredding and stuff and rocking out, people react really positively to that. So that's something that I've, you know, actually pretty recently learned. I used to just like be like, screw it, just put an image there and let the music do the talking, you know. But yeah, just, you know, having a sick video and really it's just like, what I've learned is that no matter how long you've been doing this, like you're always like you should always be taking notes on what people are doing, you know, because it's like the like I was saying earlier about the bar and stuff. It's like it's just always being pushed higher, and you know, the second you're like, this is what I'm doing, that's it, the end. Like that's you're just digging your grave, you know, like because you're not keeping up with like the craziness that's happening, you know. And I think that's just something I learned, is that I needed to step out of my comfort zone and instead of being like, well, this is what I do, that's what they do, but I can always change and evolve my art and my YouTube stuff, and it's cool, because I feel like it keeps me from, feeling like overly, important and self-indulged, because it's, when you do that, it's like you're just you're hurting your own YouTube channel, because
keeps you humble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, a couple other things I wanted to mention. One, that you seem to have a presence on Twitch. Do you do any live streaming for video games, or is it just music covers?
It's mostly music covers, but I love to do some video game stuff at some point. I really have to. It's like going back to the speedrunning thing. I just need a little bit more time. So I've been like I've been juggling like ToxicxEternity and Singularity, and it's just amazing how much time that consumes. So I pretty much haven't even been able to play a lot of video games recently, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But when I do play video games, I want to stream it, because I love streaming and I love Twitch, and if I could, I would do it every day, and maybe one day I'll be able to. So
awesome.
We'll see.
And you also started a Patreon account, right? Recently, you had an announcement, which I'm gonna put a link up to your Patreon in the video, so you guys can go check it out and see what the cool perks are. Like, what was your approach to Patreon? Did you have anything unique, or you were just thinking, I'll offer some cool incentives?
I actually changed a lot of my initial plan for my Patreon. Because really, of course, the goal behind Patreon is just to be able to support yourself easier with YouTube and stuff, because of course it takes a lot of time and effort and stuff, and it's just so cool when you're able to be able to pay a few bills with it and stuff and make it like a job, and also but besides that, the main goal for Patreon for me was that I want to play my video game covers live, because playing music live for me is my favorite thing in the world, and it's just being able to take something that I'm very passionate about, like video game covers, and being able to put it on a stage. That's my main goal, and the Patreon would be able to help that, because playing live shows and touring and stuff is just super expensive. And, so it's an attempt to be able to financially be able to do that, and so far the support that I've been getting has just been insanely awesome. I think I have 10 Patreons right now, which is that to me, that's an awesome number of people, because I wasn't sure when I put it up. I was like, it's you're gonna get $1 per video. It's okay. But no, dude, yeah, I'm up to $40 a video. So it's just that, even if it never grew beyond that, that's that helps me so much, it helps me buy equipment and strings and just all the stuff that you need to do all this stuff. So
I have a feeling it's going to grow. So
dude, yeah, man, obviously the more, the better, the more support I get, the more I'll be able to make videos and at a more consistent rate, and, eventually be able to play live performances and stuff at MagFest and TwitchCon and stuff like that. So
that's
the sky's the limit.
Yeah. All right.
That's kind of what I was saying in the video. It's just who knows what 5-10 years from now, what any of us will be doing, because the community has just exploded in 3 years, and once this grows and people supporting each other and stuff, it's dude, it's gonna be cool. I'm just really excited for it.
Awesome. So finally, are there any covers you could talk about that you've been working on, or upcoming covers?
I'm really excited for my second Disney cover. I haven't announced the track yet. Some people know what it was, but I will announce that a lot of people know this already. But I'm working with Jonathan Young on it.
Ooh, yeah, man, I like him.
Dude, Jonathan Young, man. For you guys watching, if you haven't heard Jonathan Young, he does the most amazing Disney covers. He does Disney covers. He does covers of popular music, and just he just turns any song into usually it's metal. I like the metal stuff, of course, the most. But he does other genres. But his metal covers of stuff, he'll turn any song and just into a massive metal song. And dude, his singing is just amazing. So being able to work with him, that was just it was mind blowing, dude. Because you know he streams also on Twitch, and he was streaming recording his parts for my cover, and I was just sitting there just like, like. So I'm very excited about that. I think it'll be out in about a month, or maybe September ish. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'm excited for my for my multiplayer 2 song because it's the first song that I've done that I've featured more than one person in addition to me on the song. So I had for my song, which was Hot Head Bop from Donkey Kong Country 2, I had Sir Blamble of Gam, Swiggles 1987, and Thunderscott, all playing different parts. So it was cool. Like, it's just cool hearing everybody's like signature thing on it. Yeah. You know, and it was, I wasn't sure what to expect. I was like, is this gonna just be a clusterfuck? But no, it's like it was actually like it's just sick. You know, everything kind of came together and it turned out to be a cool track. So I'm excited for that too.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for taking the time and talking with me.
Dude, thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for watching. And as always, I'll see you next time.